Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's DA Fittings and welcome to the part 2 of this tutorial. Now if you haven't seen the part 1 of this tutorial, you might want to pause this and go back to the first video to watch it because we did the pattern drafting and the cutting. So you might want to see that first before watching this one. And if you've seen the first one and you're here to watch this one, kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and please engage on my videos. Okay, so this video is going to be a short one. I have a cold and I'm struggling to actually make this voice record, so you have to bear with me. Okay, so now I have gone ahead to cut out the patterns on my fabric, and I also interfaced them with S-Day. On the lining, on the fabric I used S-Day, and then on the lining I used gum stay. I like using gum stay on my lining pieces, except for the cups. I actually used S-Day for both the fabric and the lining. And what I usually do on my cups for the main fabric, I pad it 6 times with S-Day. Yeah, that's what I do. It gives it this kind of form, this structure. I don't know, it just makes it very thick and I like it like that. And then for the lining piece, like I said, I used gum stay for the bodies, but for the cup I used S-Day and I padded it just twice. Now for the bodies I just padded once with gum stay, same as the fabric. I padded once with S-Day. I also went ahead to cut out this strap for the sleeves. I used a velvet fabric for this style and it is very stretchy. So after getting your desired width and your desired width, you want to fold it in 2 and sew it like I am doing, like I'm demonstrating, and then flip it to the right side. Okay, and you want to also make sure the fabric is stretchy if you want to get a good drape. I also went ahead to cut out the strap that will be on the neck side. So the first thing you want to do is to attach these 2 pieces together first. This damask piece, this piece I cut on the damask, and then the one I cut on the velvet. And then you want to attach it first and then go ahead to attach the strap that will go over your shoulder. So I'm going to do that and I'll show you what it looks like. Because now I've done that, I attached the middle piece first, and then I also attached the strap that will serve as our sleeves. So when attaching your strap, you want to make sure this part you joined earlier when you flipped it to the right side, you want to make sure this joining line is facing you, because it will be the one that will be resting on the part that will be resting on your shoulders. And then while attaching this strap to your bodies, you want to just be pleating it as you're attaching it. So I also went ahead to sew my cup, and I also attached an already made cup. I usually like holding a small dart on my already made cup because it gives it this kind of form, it gives it this kind of structure. So I did that for both cups, and I am going to attach it to the bodice. So now I have attached it to the bodice, and I also went ahead to attach the strap that will be going round the neck of my client. And this is how it looks like. After attaching those straps, you may want to press it, give it a good press so that it rests well on your neck. So what I have done on the fabric, on the main fabric, I also did on the lining, and the only difference is I attached a Regilin boning on the lining piece to give you some kind of form at the bottom where we're attaching it to the skirt. So now you want to bring everything in and place it on the main fabric, and then you're going to place your lining on top of it like you see me do, and then you will sew it on the neck part first before turning it round. So I'm going to do that on my machine and I will show you what it looks like. But before I do that, this strap, how I got the strap, I measured from the bottom of my bust, that is my under bust, and then I took the tape over my shoulder and then to the back where I wanted to stop. That is how I got this this part that I'm going to drape, that is the sleeve. And because the fabric is very stretchy, I removed 4 inches from that measurement that I got, so that it's going to lap well, it's going to sit well on my client's shoulder. So I'll encourage you to use a stretchy fabric when working with this. So I've gone ahead to also sew the back piece, and I turned it with my lining, and I also joined it at the zipper allowance. So what I did here is, you can notice that curve there. I removed 1 inch from that zipper allowance, and then I just curved it to the side, and I used my scissors to just cut it out. It makes the zip to relax well on the back. I do this all the time and it works for me very well. Okay, so now I have gone ahead to also turn my main fabric with my lining for the skirt part, and I'm going to be attaching the back piece to the top, the back piece for the bottom to the top, and I'll also do that for the front as well. And after doing that, I'm just going to join both front and back piece together at the side. It is that easy. I'm just going to attach it at the side. And then for the strap that is going over from the under bust to over the shoulder and then to the back, I didn't sew it inside the back. No, I just draped it on my client's body, and then I just draped it on her body. I pinned it, and then I just ran a straight stitch with my machine, and that is how it looks. And then for this part that is looking like a basque, my client wanted something like a drape at that point, so I just used a 2 net to do that draping. I did that after I joined both front and back together. It was like a last minute thing, so we just came up with that and it came out beautiful. Well, but like I said earlier, it's going to be a short video, okay? And I hope you've learned something today, and if you've learned something, kindly subscribe to my channel. Love you. See you in my next video. Bye.